Live?
Sorry.
No?
Now we're good.
Here we are, another live question and answer, and guess who's back in town? It's Jimmy.
Well, I'm here for my money. You know.
And you never can find it.
Yeah, you can't dig deep enough.
Well, Jimmy, we've had an exciting afternoon doing this chair behind us, and we're going to talk about that after we get through our questions on YouTube and also the Facebook, Broadway Facebook. And we always encourage people to comment. We notice that when we lack off a little bit, we slag off a little bit, we get fewer comments. I mean, that's only natural.
Well, people,
right?
you got to know. I mean, we've had quite the gap in time.
Yeah.
You know, some people just take a nice long vacation to the upholstery capital of the world. Where is that, Patrick?
Well, we were all over the place.
So
where is the upholstery capital?
Jimmy,
Arlington, Massachusetts?
Jimmy's holiday is always associated around batting. So one year you went to Hawaii to investigate the coconut fire.
Yes.
Another time you went down to Georgia to see how the cotton stock was doing.
And they put me to work right away too. I just happened to be staying at the wrong line, and obviously they gave me a basket and said, "Hey, buddy, let's make it happen."
You went to Poland to check out the horses where we get our horse hair.
Yes, and they almost gave me a gun and sent me to war.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of guns, we have Lee here, which I think that's his question in the
What's that?
Facebook about the staple gun.
Oh well, we're gonna do
the same Lee.
We're gonna do the YouTube first, and Jimmy's gonna be kind enough. We'll get to this project afterwards, but Jimmy's gonna be kind enough to read the YouTube.
So the first one is from Are Your Seat Cushions Worn? And this is from RGB414. Question about making a cover for the down feather cushion. Your insert measures 4 inches. What size cushion should the cushion be?
So she's asking about the boxing size on the cushion, but usually it's about the same size.
Okay.
But she doesn't specify on down. It can be wrapped in foam. It can be wrapped around foam. It can be wrapped around springs, or it can be a solid down and feather cushion. But in either case, I think with the spring and down cushions, it's a little wider.
Okay.
But with an all straight 50-50 down feather, it's usually the same size.
Okay.
That's how I do them.
Okay. So the next one is how to cut fabric around posts. This is from Jen Swartz, 2832. It's a thank you. Exactly what I needed to see. Fingers crossed that it works on my chairs.
Well, that's great. And the chair that we're doing now that will be upcoming, it has a lot of cut around posts that you've already done it on the burlap. You've cut around the post on the burlap.
Right.
And then the fabric you'll be cutting around back posts. The front posts won't be coming into, you won't need to do the front posts because those are going to be covered. But the back posts, yeah. There'll be another cut, but a different cut. She's talking about a cut from around posts. So you will be cutting posts on this one. This will be called, Patrick, the name of this upcoming video that is a paid class,
What did we decide? The dining chair, I guess. We don't have any of the dining chairs.
Called horsehair stuffed dining
horsehair has
room
to be in the dining room.
Horsehair stuffed dining room chair. And this will be upcoming. This should be up, I would say, in a month, maybe, Patrick, realistically.
There's only 4 episodes, right?
So maybe a month, 3 weeks,
classes.
4 weeks.
We haven't done a 4-lesson class since the first one.
Well, I think it's
good.
good.
The first one we did.
I think these are good because we can get them out there faster. He can edit them.
Oh yeah, much easier.
And then we have Jimmy, do you want to mention we finally found a sofa.
Well,
and it's my sofa.
It's your sofa. It wasn't something we found on Facebook, which is something I was kind of leaning on. Every time it came, to me looking for something, it was either there and they were out 3 or 4 of them, or there was nothing at all for weeks. So this was kind of like, we got to do something, and you decide to volunteer your
so
sofa,
it's the first modern. It's a Bob sofa. It's the first modern thing we've done, right, Dad? It's like new.
And I think we're going to upgrade it. I mean,
we are.
I think so. I think we're going to find a way to upgrade a kind of a low. It's a low. I want to be kind here.
Okay.
But when you
you want to show some? Here's some. Maybe we can use the buttons on the back. I don't know.
We'll think about something. Yeah. But when you look at this chair, all beautiful hand carved. I think this is mahogany. Sometimes it's hard to tell after it's been stained. But it's a beautiful, look at the veneer. I mean, look at the carving. I mean, come on, you can't even compare this to some of the newer furniture that they sell.
No,
but it's all for purpose. We all can't afford, expensive antiques. So we have to furnish our apartments as best we can. Now, this is I would say, medium, maybe to low manufacturer. But we're gonna take that and try to enhance it.
I'm excited about it. This is what everybody has in their house. Really,
that's right.
This is the first time we've done
John
something.
Q. Public, as they say, right?
Yeah.
First time we'll be doing something that everybody might have, and they can.
Well, like I've said before, and you know it too. There were so many instances of us seeing either an oversized love seat, an oversized chair, or an older sofa.
Yeah.
But because of the lack of space that we have, it would have been some time, and you had gone away, and it just.
So it works out good. We're getting a new sofa.
Yeah.
Give one old one to you, and you're going to take.
Any questions or comments, Patrick, so far? Jimmy's hairstyle.
Malcolm says Jimmy tripping on upholstery.
Are you tripping?
I am tripping. Yes. Obviously, people know me too well already.
No, I think Jimmy's been a real good sport. I was actually watching him doing some of the work here, and I was thinking to myself, he's come a long way too. I definitely think Jimmy's in his journeyman period. He probably could, if he had more practice, which he doesn't get, he could even be more advanced. Because you guys know, Malcolm, this is a skill that, like any other skill, I think, it's
right.
repetitiveness that really gets you really good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and fast.
Yes, you get comfortable, you get to know yourself, you get to know the techniques a little bit better.
Right.
And I think, kind of like when we did the stapling of this chair in the corner, it's like, well, how would I have...
You had forgotten certain things, too, or...
you kind of say, oh, is this right? Is this... Okay, and you kind of... And, of course, somebody who doesn't know will make the attempt.
Well, that's what the nice thing about the online... The YouTube classes are great.
Yes.
And this is YouTube. This is free content.
Okay.
But these that are a little bit of money, we think it's very reasonable. You get all that detail.
Yeah.
And even the mistakes are really important to show some of the mistakes.
Yes.
Like you made a mistake with the webbing. Why don't you tell people what you did the first webbing?
I didn't stretch it the way I should have.
Well, you pre-cut it.
I pre-cut it. I didn't stretch it only because I kind of know myself to pull it long enough, and I've done it quite a few times. But, of course, somebody who is beginning upholstery, you want them to kind of know and understand what tools are for and what they're about to get an idea of, putting the technique and all this together to make it happen for themselves.
And I think it's important. I think it's a great learning tool. So, do you want to read the next question?
That's what Randy says, just dropping in for a bit to say hi.
Hi, Randy.
Jimmy's going to be jealous about this one because one of my restaurant upholstery clients is buying me dinner.
Wow. Where?
Unfortunately, I have to eat at the old people hours. So, Randy, if you're an hour behind, you're Central Time. So
it's about 4:30. It's about now.
3:40.
Yeah. Wow.
That's pretty good, though.
You know what? That wouldn't that be nice? We should go up to Maine for dinner sometime.
Randy's lucky. I had one client years ago. I won't mention the name.
Okay.
But it was a horrible experience when somebody offered me a meal in the house. And I, being a chef, I didn't understand. But the woman said, "I'm going to make you a beautiful soup." So I was fixing something in the house, and she said, "Have you ever had fish head soup?" Whoa. And when I heard that, Jimmy, I couldn't believe it. I never heard of fish head soup in my life.
I have. I remember.
I was shocked.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
So she was in there cooking. She says, "I insist that you have my fish head soup." I said, "Okay." I pretended like, And so
that's when you went over and pulled the fire alarm. Right?
No. She said, "Now I'm going to be going out, and I want you to enjoy this soup." She had the soup dish and the soup. She poured the soup for me, and she left. And I'm looking at it, and there's a fish looking at me. I mean, there's a head of a fish with the eyes bulging out.
Is that like the episode?
I'm not so sure if I believe this.
No.
No. Actually, there is a fish head
so
soup.
What I did,
but this is
I did. What am I going to do? I have to do something to say that I ate the soup. So what I did is I poured it down the sink.
Oh, God.
And I took the couple of heads that were looking at me and put them in the trash.
And then they turned on you.
And when she came back, she said, "Oh, it looks like you've enjoyed my soup so much, I'm going to give you a second helping."
Oh, I'm calling the son this one.
I said, "No, no."
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now doing a poll, and yes,
But-
is that A, a true story, or B, I made it up and I'm so full of crap.
No, it's true. It's a true story. So I later found out it's in our Portuguese friends. I have to apologize to our Portuguese friends. This is a very well-known dish.
You know what?
This is a very well-known dish. I didn't know at the time.
Well, I
It
thought
would
it
be
was,
like somebody, imagine somebody saying that to you, never heard it before. Wouldn't you be?
well, years ago,
It turned into a cooking show.
teenage years, there was actually, I was in a relationship where a woman had talked about fish head soup, and she was Italian.
She was a girlfriend?
Well, she's since passed, but that's okay.
Right, I'm sorry to hear that.
It was fish head soup. She was always talking about it, making a joke of it. I'm like,
Oh.
and of course she would then describe it sometime after, and I thought, why would they, with the fish heads and everything?
It
the way-
must be a particular taste.
It might, well, maybe for a particular. I'm not sure when they would have it. Given,
It's a special thing.
yeah,
From what I've
obviously
been told,
it is.
It's a very special thing. But
Well,
anyway.
maybe you can call your wife and say,
I don't think she would serve fish head
Yeah.
soup. But
If you
anyhow.
started serving that, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, I know. I can tell you guys are like, oh, honey, we're gonna put speed dial on some pizza place tonight. So anyway, the next one is how to run an upholstery shop. This is from Anton. 764. How do you deal with storage? Some people leave you pieces, or maybe the pieces are ready and they won't pick up, or they're not ready to receive the pieces. Do you charge them storage after a certain amount of days?
It's a big problem, because in any business, I don't care what business you're running, storage is money. It costs money. You have something that's staying stationary for months at a time, that's costing you money. It's getting in your way, you're tripping over it, it comes out as money. So the best thing to do is take deposits, 50% labor deposits, anytime you can.
Okay.
Because if somebody's got 50% invested, they're not gonna walk. They can walk if there's only fabric, for instance, invested. Never take a job without any type of money attached to it.
Well, I mean, when you say yes, it'll be ready next week, I'll call you.
And then I have problems with people who their life gets in the way and something comes up. And if it's I have a sofa now, it's all paid for.
Right.
In this case, I'm going to be very tolerant because I wouldn't like to get the call saying, you know what, this is going on a little too far. I'm going to have to charge. I don't like that. I think that's poor business.
Right, but you'd say 3
But
weeks.
it's been a couple of months now. It's in
No
the front,
way.
and it's in our front window. I have it packaged up in plastic. It's the one in the front window.
That's a nice one.
So
too,
it's nothing compared to the one in the basement we've had for 4
Well,
years.
poor John
Yeah,
Belushi,
well, yeah. I actually have to get down there and try to help Dad again.
Yeah, we have to clean the basement for sure.
I think that one is.
I think you
I
know
don't think we're ever
what
getting
we should have
back.
I'll buy the pizza or the subs. We'll all go down. We'll have.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We'll go to Jimmy's afterwards.
Jimmy's how appropriate. Jimmy, speaking of any comments or anything?
I agree with Malcolm. He'd be pretty desperate to eat fish heads.
Well, yeah.
Live on
Well,
a desert island.
well, let me ask you something because I've never seen it or never.
Well, it's they put
Is it
the
like a
heads in.
brothy
You
or
don't
is it
eat the
creamy?
heads. You don't eat the heads.
No,
It
that's
was
just
creamy.
part of it.
It was creamy.
Okay.
It was like chowder,
Okay.
but you don't eat the heads.
So
The heads, I think the brains of the fish seep out into the broth.
no.
Come on, I'm getting ill here.
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, you wonder why we're so low in the ratings.
They tune in. They want
I'm just
Upholstery,
giving you
they hear
my
this.
input. I mean, it's
You know what? You should be watching
this is turned
Food
into a
Food Network. You and your stories.
Well, we were talking, Jimmy. The theme is, we were talking
the
about
theme is
how-
upholstery, and you
Well,
go
but
walk
we were
in-
talking about. Remember, I said how this is a cake. What
Yeah.
we're doing, the Europeans make their cake. The cake is on this case, the webbing, the burlap,
Yes.
the edge roll,
Yes.
the double stitched horsehair, the muslin, the cotton, and the fabric. Whew, that's a lot for a small child like
Yes.
this. But that's called a cake. We're making a cake, and the Europeans, they build their cake. We were talking about it off the piece, the whole thing like that,
Okay.
and then they attach it with just a row of tacks along the edge. That one row of tacks.
Have you ever done that before?
No, but I had an intern from Sweden, my Swedish intern. Did you ever talk about her? I had a girl from Sweden call me. She said she was going to be in town with her on a visa with her boyfriend, and she wanted to work for me for free. I said I ran it by the wife. She said, why not? So I had this beautiful Swedish intern for a summer, and she did. I was watching her bake the cakes all summer long. And
really?
Yes.
See, I would have wanted to stay for that just to see.
Of course you would.
A little bit of Sweden.
Jimmy likes
My name is Sven.
But I got a funny story to tell you about her. So
Another one?
Well, yeah. Before she came, I would be going to the Starbucks to get a cappuccino.
Right.
And then the first day she was there, it was my tradition to buy her a cappuccino. So I would go to the Starbucks and I'll say 2 cappuccinos. So all week, the first week. They finally, the manager said, Kevin, why are you getting 2? You're drinking 2. I said, no, this is for my Swedish intern from Sweden who's working with me down at the shop for free. And he said, he went, sure.
Yeah.
So the next week it was the same thing. Finally, he didn't believe it at all.
Did you bring her in?
I had to. I had to bring her and introduce her.
You wanted it all. You wanted her all for yourself. Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
But they build their cakes off the chair. We build our cakes on the chair. I like the way we do it, though.
Well, it's interesting to see how their technique is different, but yet they still manage to.
Yeah.
But that where you.
It comes out the same, except the one thing that I couldn't understand, the one thing I didn't like about it, is that you're only using one row of tacks to attach the whole cake. Whereas we're putting this on separately with a separate tax system on each piece.
Right.
That's the part that I didn't understand.
Yeah, I'd like to see how that, and whether you're really comfortable with that or not.
I don't know. I
think this way it's more precise.
Yeah, this way lasts longer. What's the next question? Gee, we really got off track there, Jimmy. What was the question? I didn't even remember the question. What was the question? Oh,
it was basically how to deal with storage. That's
and then Randy
yeah,
asked,
Malcolm. Oh, sorry. It was Randy who brought up the food.
Randy, stop it. We're not the Food Network yet.
Malcolm says, I agree with Malcolm. I mean, at a certain point, it gets ridiculous. You're holding on to something. How many years has that been in the basement, Dad?
It's before COVID.
Yeah, but so we could actually use that instead.
I don't know. That's a different piece.
Would be kind of cool.
I've kind of grown fond of the sofa because it was people.
You need to make room down there. There's potential to make it a condominium.
But it's a
famous
person sofa. It's John Belushi's sofa.
Look at John is
I think he gave us permission.
I like to think John would be happy that we would turn it into a nice looking couch. I think we definitely, with the fabric that we have in the basement.
But I go down there, I see John, I say hello to, I say, hi John, how you doing?
Yeah, you put on Animal House.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him in Saturday Night Live, and I liked, I thought he was a great physical comedian, kind of like your favorite 3 men in the whole world, the Three
Stooges.
The Stooges, that you have posters of him, and you have them in various places in your house. You have them.
Yes, I don't have. Yeah, I didn't grow up with
little statuettes of the Three Stooges. Well, we better get
I think that the choice. This is going to go to your daughter. So.
Yes.
Choice between a sofa that's been in the basement for 4 years and almost a brand new sofa. You'd rather choose the brand new one, right?
No, I mean, you know what? It would definitely be that sofa would definitely be a lesson.
It would be cool.
It would be definitely at least 20 lessons out of that. 20 individual lessons out of that.
I do think making the right choice with the newer one, though, in my opinion.
Well, we could always
do
it.
What I've seen.
You know what? We could always do it different because you know what? That's not. Is that really a sofa or more of a love seat?
With my one or
no, the one down in the basement.
Smaller. It's much shorter. So I
probably go love seat.
It's
very wide though.
Yeah.
I think you know what? I think we can flip a coin. I'll take Dad out to lunch and
we
dinner.
can have some fish head soup.
It doesn't sound like he wants to do that one.
I think you know what? Now tell me about the zucchini bread, by the way.
Oh, that's wonderful, Jimmy. You're gonna believe this.
I know you told me.
I came into the shop this morning. There's this big loaf of banana. I thought it was banana bread. Zucchini bread sitting there. It's half gone, Jimmy.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was so good. Jimmy baked me a cake. He baked me a cake.
I bake, I cook, yeah.
You baked me. You cooked me. I mean, I couldn't believe it. There were only 2 people. There were only two people that could have done that, Bernice or you. And Bernice actually came in.
Oh, no
and
way.
I asked her, did you leave this here? She said no, and she had some with me.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Bernice. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
We should read the next one before we get more.
Before my off-topic button here. I got a process.
Yeah, this is the amazing 1800s sofa part 2. I really enjoy watching your videos. I spent a lot of my childhood in my grandfather's upholstery shop learning this craft while helping him. Of course, I didn't appreciate it at the time, and I regret not listening more and working with him more after high school to take over the business. His shop was also in Mass, and he also had 2 brothers in the industry. His shop was Holbrook Upholstery. One brother was Hancock Upholstery in Quincy, and the other was Weymouth Upholstery.
I know them all.
Watching your videos, I can hear him talking, explaining to me and what to do.
Wow.
I have a few of his tools that I plan on using as soon as I can find a chair to reupholster in my basement with the help of your videos. Thank you.
Oh, that's
and
a
this
wonderful
is,
story.
I can't remember, can you pronounce that for me?
That is a wonderful story. I really appreciate it.
Who was that from?
Which one is this?
The very top one.
Bahish Antoine.
Okay.
I think it's just named. That's his last name. I think his first name is Antoine.
I didn't want to insult
I
the
really
man.
appreciate that, Antoine. That makes me feel really good, and I think these are really worthwhile. These videos.
Yeah, I mean that's great. Like to have that.
All right. Well, let's go on to the Facebook now, Jimmy.
Yes.
Now, somebody in here is complaining. They said Jimmy is chewing too much gum during the production of the post.
That was a YouTube comment.
Oh, all right. She
really had nothing else to do.
He didn't that day. I have the same problem, Jimmy. Don't worry. Ask Michaela.
You have enough gum for everyone?
Ask Michaela.
That's okay. That's okay, Jimmy.
What was it? A man or a woman?
I'm not sure, but they were a viewer of ours, so
that's okay. We could take criticism, you know.
Oh, not you. Maybe you.
People say I should grow some more hair.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Actually, I think you should probably dye what you have. And we'll try to blend that in.
See, this is our next step. I just wanted to show people that.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Mr. More Hair Than Me, Jimmy. Okay, we'll go on to the Facebook. Lee Gardner.
Yeah, Lee's been waiting patiently.
Is she on here?
Somebody named Lee is here. I'm not sure if it's the same Lee that posted the question.
Well, Lee, so this is an interesting question. We don't usually get questions about tools, but this is one of them. This is my first post here asking for help. I'm learning upholstery mainly, just sofas and chairs from a local lady I go to church with. So since the end of last year, the guy who repairs her staple guns told her he is retiring in March 2024, and she is looking to buy a brand new one very similar to this one, staple gun with model number T18 7C. She goes through the whole code. So does anyone know of any staple gun very similar to this old Fasco? It's a Fasco staple gun. So if this is Fasco does break, she will have one similar to use. She doesn't have to close the shop down for weeks looking for a replacement. So any and all help would be appreciated. I do enjoy watching the weekly live videos, which I have learned many new things about upholstery. Well, I will tell you that before I was in this position with staple guns. Do not buy a staple gun at one of your big box brand places. Do not. I have to tell you, I had staple guns breaking on me. You should not need a repairman with the staple guns that we have. And we're just going to tell you, if you could just reach behind you, Jimmy, and grab that staple gun. This looks like the brand that we have, but it isn't. And I've had these guns for, I think, these particularly, when I switched, I've had these guns maybe for 10 years, not one breakdown, you guys, not one. Now I notice this is the BEA, and we used to have these available. You guys have to do your own research. Best gun in the industry, BEA.
Now, do you sell that, or do you?
We used to, Jim. We're not doing that right now.
We still sell the tools.
We do. Okay, so you guys could buy it at our
But I've
website.
seen, and this was recent in the last few days, and this is something new, a pneumatic gun.
Well, this is a pneumatic.
No, but it's basically, I think it was like an air.
This is an air pneumatic.
Let me look for it. I'm
But
going to
before
talk about
before
that.
you go on.
Well, Malcolm says Fasco.
Yeah, this is if she's having a repairman repairing any type of gun, I don't care what it is, there's something wrong with the gun. I've never had a repair. I never did a repair on this. Never a professional repair. And I can't even remember the last time this jammed on me. So once a gun jams, that's the beginning of your trouble. Because you're going in there yourself, you're trying to get the hammer that comes out. The hammer's jammed in there with the staple, a stub of a staple gun, and you're taking an awl or whatever you're taking, or an end of a regulator to try to get it out. That's the beginning of your troubles for any gun. Okay, and the other thing too is she's got a long nose gun. Long nose gun. Huh?
He.
Lee's a he?
Yeah, that's all the picture on Facebook.
Sorry, Lee's got a long nose. Long noses feel more than the short nose, even on the BEA. So keep that, and that's Jimmy's showing me a standard subpar gun that you want to try to avoid.
It's really a cordless drill combo.
Yeah, I don't think that works, Jimmy. You need a pneumatic gun.
I'm seeing what's out there because
you need a pneumatic gun with a compressor, a reliable compressor that's going to give you at least 80 pounds of pressure, and you want to use the proper staples. This is another thing people don't realize. Staples, they're different quality staples. If you got a staple that they overglued, each staple is glued, is held together with glue. If you've got a staple sleeve that's been overglued, and that can jam a gun, even a BEA gun. So you have to be real careful with the quality of tools that you're using, guys. And really, you get a good tool, never breaks down. Never. I've never had. You don't have to oil these. I don't oil them. I mean, they're great.
So what's the standard price for that?
Patrick, what's the price on the BEA price?
We have almost 500.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Look, it's
wow.
Even on the behind you on the thing. Look,
they're expensive. They're expensive. But if you got a gun, if I tell you you're gonna have a gun that never breaks down for 10 years, opposed to going out and buying these box store guns every 2 years, I think it makes sense. Let's go to the next Facebook unless there's a comment. There might be a comment on that, Pat.
Nope.
Brad King, top contributor. I'd like to share before and after on a Lincoln Rocket. Also had to glue a lot of loose joints and brakes. Did a great job, Brad. Can you see that, Patrick? I love before and afters, guys. Please send us your before and afters.
Yeah, if you guys can't see that, it's on the Facebook forum.
We have a before and after with Jimmy. Before he was an upholsterer, and then after what you see now. He used to be a very attractive man until he started upholstering. Is that true, Jimmy?
Yeah. Then I aged like the Middle Ages.
I'm sorry. I'm just teasing you. Jean. Now, Jean has contributed. She's a top contributor, too. And I have to say, Jimmy, do you want to read this one, Jimmy, from Jean, and show that picture?
Got the seat deck installed, inside arms, foam, and inside back foam cutout. Installed arms and added a layer of cotton over them. Have to tear apart the inside arm fronts. Cut them out tomorrow. But this is... Can you see that?
She does a lot of knockdowns. She does a lot of frame-up pieces. Jean's in a category all by herself, you guys, by doing that. She's not just reupholstering. She's actually, structuring it. She's starting from scratch there, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell. I mean, she obviously knows her own technique, and I think that's what's important. She knows herself. That's what, when you see the break, you don't see the breakdown of a chair when you take it apart. So very few people do, but obviously she has a good memory for how to build back up again too.
So she's been a top contributor on Facebook. Has she been an online? I'm sure she's taken online classes.
I think so, yeah.
I'm sure she's built her
always
skill.
posting good stuff.
Yeah, where is she from?
I'm not sure. We don't know where people are from. I don't think. Do we, Patrick? We don't know usually, unless they tell us. Like Randy's told us, he's out in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, we could always take out. How many hours to Wisconsin? Did you
I think Randy's invited us out there a couple of times.
Well, we could go. I'm looking to take a long weekend somewhere.
I think the only caveat was that you needed to milk cows. You know how to milk a cow?
Well, I could probably.
Remember the cheese place we went to in Wisconsin, Dad?
Oh yeah, we went to a cheese place.
Did you bring anything back? You guys, one-way streets, the two of you.
Imagine cheese. Oh, do you remember going in there? There was dung everywhere.
Would you realize how valuable dung is in your garden?
Oh, it was all over. It was on the road.
Fertilizer.
It was. Do you remember that?
Your favorite places in Wisconsin?
What?
The shrine.
Oh, we went to a beautiful shrine. What's the name of the shrine?
That was right outside of what? Was it Appleton?
Yep, the Our Lady of Guadalupe shrine. That was beautiful. But when we were going to that cheese factory, even the roads were loaded with dung. You had to go around.
And you let it go. We could have had a garden. You realize what it does?
Who would have known? Those cows have
You're
to
definitely
eat.
not a farmer, and you live out in the country, don't you?
No, not that country, not that far out.
Oh, you're far enough.
So, Jimmy, why don't we talk about what you did today and tell people
Well,
about
I mean,
the
once you
upcoming-
explain what the procedure was.
We're going to take this away. You don't need that because that's the next couple of steps.
So if you want to bring this, is this all set here, Patrick? Can we get an angle on that? Is that good?
Tell us some of the difficulties you had,
There we go.
some of the things you...
Well, number one, we have definitely a unique frame, well, because of the size of it and all, but we had to, of course, do our cross webbing here, and we only had 2 up and down, and we squeezed in those 2. The 3 across was again squeezed into as well, and let me get.
So, Jimmy, you were impressed after we did the webbing only. I had Jim, we put the chair down and I had you sit on it. Now, you're about, I'd say you're about 320.
Yeah, 380.
No, you're about 220.
Yeah.
220? You're 220?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I weigh more than that. But a 220-pound man, you sat
Well,
on
it's all
that.
those cappuccinos in the morning.
It's all those...
I drink water.
It's
in
all
the
that
morning.
fish head soup.
Yeah, those. That creamy.
Creamy fish head.
Yeah.
I never had anything look at me while I was eating it. It was a little disconcerting, but anyhow, when you sat on
Did
that...
you at least turn it around, kind of like watch my?
Yeah, I said... Look,
So
the
anyway,
other way.
so
The other way.
yeah,
When you sat on that, what did you think about the strength of it?
I thought we did a great job with it. It definitely tight as a drum.
And it remained tight after you sat on it. And then
Yes.
the thing about the traditional way we do things is that will take multiple seatings. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of seatings before it fails.
Yes.
I had a woman bring in a chair with rubber webbing the other day. Rubber webbing. And any nylon webbing is even worse. Any type of replacement for the jute is a failure after not a long time at all. The jute webbing is still the best product out there.
Okay.
Right?
I mean,
so everything there is jute. You got
Yeah.
webbing, the burlap, and the edge roll, with the exception of a little paper fill on the edge roll. But that's a totally natural, organic so far. And it's going to be, when it's done, with the horsehair and the muslin, cotton muslin, and cotton over that, and probably a cotton fabric, the whole chair.
well, next week everyone will see how it's progressed. I mean, I think it's great that people are getting definitely a new, especially with the edging. I think it's important because a lot of people don't use it enough. It's simple, foam, and just,
Yeah, they would only, a lot of upholsterers would not know, in all fairness, a lot of the tradition has been lost, Jimmy, so they would take a piece of foam, or people who don't care,
right.
would take a piece of foam and just staple the foam along the edge, and that will be it. And that
Yeah,
is
but
not
it would
gonna-
make it very hard, especially here at the corner.
It won't
the way
last.
this- No.
It won't last that way. Even if it's a good foam, the foam's going to pull away, then you're going to have a lousy looking seat. This is our desire is to make it last long, make it look good, and last long. That's the final product going to be. Do you have any? Is there any other questions or comments there, Patrick? Or do we?
Malcolm says it has nice carvings. It does.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And there are
Yeah.
6 of those, Malcolm.
Wow.
6 of them, just
Wow.
like that. So, Jimmy, do you have any questions about your diet or upholstery?
Diet?
Oh my God.
I know, it's crazy.
You gotta stop smoking
What,
before
are you
you
a
get in
doctor
here.
now?
How you feeling today,
Well,
Jim? You look a little
Do you have
peaked.
any questions about your diet?
We
Have you
we
checked your cholesterol lately?
I'm trying to work on that, you guys. And,
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we open up a session at the gym, and then we can kind of like.
Jimmy, you're in better shape. You're down there in the tunnels, doing your work. You must walk a lot down there.
Probably about 4,000 steps a day.
Wow, that's pretty good. How many miles is that?
I couldn't
I
tell
can
you.
tell you. 1 step is 3 feet. That's 7,000 feet.
Okay.
And a mile is how many feet? 4,500 feet in a mile.
Is it?
So you're doing about almost 2 miles a day.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
I mean, I like
huh?
it. I mean, people say, oh, you're doing your steps. I'd like to do more
Yeah,
if I could.
yeah. Well, that could be arranged.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You walked that last mile, Jim. Huh?
So, Patrick, do you have anything to add about upcoming events?
No, just that we're back in action here now, doing 2 classes back to back here. So we'll be filming probably until, I'd say, at least the early summer.
So a lot of content coming up, as well as the old content. That if you're new to YouTube and you're watching this, check out the content on how do they find those online classes, Patrick? At Upholstery on Broadway?
Yeah, upholsteryoonbroadway.com.
Starring
Jimmy.
Yeah.
As the fallen star, but we picked him up and gave him a job, and he's happy with that.
He's halfway through his rehab program now.
Malcolm asked, what are you going to use for the first and second stuffing on those chairs?
We're going to do a double layer of horsehair, Malcolm. We're going to layer this out so that it comes even with the top hair, with the horsehair.
And then we stitch it.
And then that gets stitched in the interior.
Okay.
And then the layer. Now the horsehair is pretty, it's substantial. So it's going to be the equivalent, Malcolm. When you look at a picked piece of horsehair, right? That's a picked piece. You're talking about 1 inch in thickness. So we're going to have at least 2 inches thick, 4 inches of horsehair.
Oh, wow.
And the top layer is going to kind of overlap like this, and you're going to be blanket stitching it to the top like that.
We're going to be
You're going to be blanket stitching with the nylon twine right to the front, so that it doesn't move
that's
away.
A first.
Yeah. And then over that, to make sure that it's contained well, we're going to muslin over that. And what that does is it tightens the rest of the horsehair out.
So things don't shift around.
Yeah. And then a full layer of cotton, Malcolm, a thick full layer of AAA cotton, which is about 1.5 inches thick.
Oh my
of course,
God.
what cotton will come down, the actual size after we stretch our fabric over it, will be about 1/2 inch, maybe to 3/4 inch. So when you add all that up, Jimmy,
one cushy chair.
yeah, it's the equivalent of, and not as good, obviously, as a 2-inch or 3-inch piece of foam, but it's the equivalent. And the other thing, the reason we're selecting, and I know the exact how much we want in this, is the scale of the chair is small. We don't want to overstuff this chair.
Right.
We do not want to overstuff it, so we have to be careful with that, Malcolm. Good question. Malcolm has got these good questions.
He does. Yeah.
Because he's
very detailed, isn't he?
Professional upholsterer, and so is Randy. We've got people who've, I'm not sure what their history is, but Blair.
We have people watching us. We are on the know. This is.
A lot of people have watched us gain the knowledge, just moved on. But Blair has given us credit. Sometimes you don't get the credit, which is fine. I mean, we're trying to help people here too. This isn't our moneymaker, that's for sure.
No.
These videos, but I think it adds to the overall character of who we are and what we're all about.
Well, at least me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
He says, how much horsehair per chair? 1 to 2 pounds?
I'm thinking 2 pounds on this one, Randy. Yeah, thinking 2 pounds when we're done.
That's still amazing when you think of the amount.
Yeah.
And the way you're going to layer all this and how it's... Because the way you're describing it, this thing is going to be big.
Well, think about it. 2 pounds is 1 bald horse in Poland right now.
Yeah.
Well, so each chair takes 1 horse, bald horse now.
Wow.
She's probably inside, probably inside the barn, probably for until
As you can see, I'm a little giddy too.
Is that really how?
You what?
Is that the whole horse?
No.
How many pounds is that?
You know what? That's a good question. I couldn't even guess it.
How much do you think?
Hey, you know what? If we have a GoFund, we can go to Poland. And we could. We could go to Wisconsin.
But I do want to say something before I.
Don't say anything.
No. This horse is from the body of the horse, not from the mane, not from the tail. And the reason I say that, the body.
Right.
The reason I say that is because if you're getting horse like a merry-go-round, they use the mane, right, Michaela? When they do those horses on the carousel in the old days, they used to take the mane. And what happens when you take a horse's mane at that point, Michaela? You know that they're not with us anymore. You can't take the horse's mane and have the horse live, right? And the tail.
Is that true?
Right,
I didn't
Michaela?
know that.
You can't.
You can cut their hair just like any other animal.
The tail here?
Yeah.
No, I've seen the. I don't want to get too graphic, but I've seen the tails that they use for the old carousel horses, and there's some bone in there too.
Oh God!
So the horse.
So you mean they cut the whole tail off?
The horse is not with us anymore, and the reason I bring that up.
I don't know. You think that the bones?
That's true.
I've
done some antique carousel horses, believe it or not. The tail has that. But the reason I bring it up is because I want to make sure people know that the horses that they use, they're shared like sheep. And they take good care of these horses because this stuff's expensive. So the horses are
So
well
it's
cared
not
for.
Mr. Red that we're looking at.
Not Mr. Ed, and it's not a dead horse. It's a very live horse. Look at the...
Why does it look like that? Because you see on the horse it's straight.
Because it's shaved, Patrick.
So just...
No, the straight parts of the horse, the mane and the tail. Not the it's a special horse that has the hair grows and they share it.
Hey, that's what you should do, invest in those horses.
Well,
they're expensive. But you would believe how much one horse costs.
I've invested in horses before when I had a gambling addiction down there at the local Suffolk Downs. I don't want to do that anymore on any level.
Where did you go? Did you go to the amusement? Did you go to the amusement rides in Revere Beach and say, "Yeah, number 7. Yeah, I want that number 7."
What a lovely place.
Yeah.
All right.
A bittersweet
Unless
memory.
there's some questions.
Malcolm says tail hair can be combed and shaved out. That's how lariats. Is that what used to be made?
Oh,
So I'm not
okay.
sure what that. What's that?
I don't know. Did you say lampshades?
No, Lariat. T-S.
I'm not sure what he means.
Larry, no, there was some that's.
Oh, I'm sure he'll respond.
We'll wait for his response.
Oh, well,
Tell us what that means. Tell us what that is.
Lariat.
I can look it up, but he might respond before I.
No, but I can tell you that the carousel horses that I worked on, the old antique ones, they actually had you could tell that the horse could not have survived that.
Probably not.
Oh, lasso.
Oh,
That's
lasso.
because when I put with lariat, I put that in lasso.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, Jimmy. I think that's going to finish us up for today.
Well, they'll be picking me up soon, sending me back to the home. So.
All right,
We're full swing here now, so we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you can kick me to the curb anytime you want. I understand that.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
How long was that, Patrick?
40 minutes.
That's good, isn't it?